So I would like to welcome all of you here to my What's Up Wednesday chat. As you can see, I have a guest here tonight. There
Hello.
she is.
How's it going?
Yeah. If you are here on my YouTube channel, or if you are on Cheese from Scratch YouTube channel, or maybe you are watching with Rumble, thank you so much for being here. If you're listening later on the podcast, I appreciate you being here too. I'm still learning how all of this works, so I appreciate everyone's patience. I'm not seeing anything yet on your channel. I will try to go back in. Okay, Rumble is up and going. This is exciting.
Cool.
So, yeah. So let me go ahead and introduce my guest. Is it okay to use your first name?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so this is Robin with Cheese from Scratch, and I'm so excited to have her here. I've been kind of watching her for a bit now. She hasn't been active on YouTube very much in the last year or so, but she does do a lot on Instagram and some other social media, and you'll see her. She has a web page of her own, and so she's active out there. And we've wrangled her in, and we got her in on YouTube for this Dairy Month. June is Dairy Month collaboration, and I'm so excited about having her here. And while I try to see what's going on with your page and see if I can get it to pop up, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started in, you know what, you don't have to narrow it down to just YouTube. Just tell us about how you got started in becoming Cheese for Scratch and what that means.
Sure. Sounds good. Yeah. So I'm mostly over on Instagram. I posted on YouTube for like about maybe not quite a year last year, but my video for the Dairy Month collaboration is going to be coming out on Friday. I'm going to be showing you guys how to do collabor culture. But anyways, I'm mostly over on Instagram is where you'll find me. So I started Cheese from Scratch a couple years ago. In 2021, I had made cheese for quite a few years before that, but I was like, I want to turn this into a business because I just loved it so much, and I wanted to find a way that I could stay home with my kids more and stuff like that. So yeah, I started teaching through a cheese making course just through my website, and then started showcasing on Instagram a little bit. Spread myself too thin trying to do a podcast and do YouTube and stuff as well, so I pulled back from that. And mostly I'm on Instagram, have a monthly membership called the Milkmaid Society, and just teach a lot of cheese making, which was really fun.
So what made you decide I'm going to make cheese? I mean, did you just wake up one day and say, I want to do this myself, or was it a bit of a process?
It was kind of one of those things where, so my husband was a dairy farmer from Wisconsin, and we live in BC, Canada now, like really close to where I grew up. And so he moved to Canada. We are actually beef ranchers here. So he decided that we needed a milk cow on our beef ranch. So he brought home a milk cow and was like, can you make cheese? Because he had like this idea of cheese being like in Wisconsin with there you have string cheese and Colby cheese, and it's a cheese state, all the cheese. So he wanted to have cheese in Canada. So he asked me to make him cheese when he brought home a milk cow for us. And then at first it was hard.
Okay, so I don't know if everyone is paused here or if it's just her, but we'll give it a second here. The struggle bus with the internet sometimes happens. And I will say hello to Suburban Hillbilly, Pike Creek Farm, Homestead with D, and Redneck Tree. And of course, we've got Dark Lord Minute sliding in. We lost you there for a second, but I think you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, we have rural internet here, so
yeah, it's the struggle bus with the internet it's real.
It really is.
So, cheese was in the plan right away then, because for me, it was in the back of my head that I wanted to learn those things. But step one was learning to milk. So I started with goats because they were small. And then I was like, okay, I've got this. And I made like one soft cheese. And I realized I can't make butter and I can't make sour cream and all that without quite a process to get the cream. So I went for a Jersey. I don't know if you went back to Holstein like your husband had, or what kind of cow you have. You'll have to tell us in a second. But my first things were small. Cheese was definitely not in the beginning, so kudos to you for taking that on right
Yeah,
away.
it was definitely like maybe I don't know, it was probably around the same time, like learn how to make butter, learn how to make cheese at the same time, sort of thing like that. But yeah, it was definitely a learning experience.
For sure. So, what was the first cheese you made, if you can remember?
It was string cheese, for sure,
String
string cheese.
cheese.
That's what Zach wanted from my husband Zach wanted from Wisconsin because
Okay.
there's this cheese plant in Wisconsin called Union Star that makes like the best string cheese, and he's like, you have to make like string cheese like that place. So I made that first off for him, and then we started. He wanted Colby cheese, and then all the other cheeses started.
So hard cheeses then. You didn't get to start with like a farmer's cheese.
No, didn't get to start with those ones. I had to start with all the other ones, but yeah, that's like my recommendation though for people when they are learning to make cheese. I'm always like, just pick one cheese that your family wants you to make and then just make it over and over and over again. And so
Yeah.
that's what I did. Like I probably like stretched myself a little bit too thin trying to make a few more, but like mostly just made mozzarella and Colby at first when I was first starting and then added
Mhm.
other ones in as I went.
So your string cheese, is it basically mozzarella that's been shaped so that he can have it in that
Yeah,
form?
so
Or do you have to do
mozzarella,
other
so
techniques?
string cheese is just like overworked mozzarella. So a lot of
Okay.
times people accidentally overwork their mozzarella and they make really tough mozzarella. But if you just kind of like overwork it a little bit and stretch it into a long rope, then you can get string cheese. So yeah, there's a couple different ways. I actually made it yesterday. But there's a couple different ways you can make it. You can have like citric acid one, or you can have like a naturally acidified one and stuff like that. So it's something you can play around with if you want to.
That is fun. That is something I have not yet tried, but we love cheese sticks.
Yeah.
Like the fried ones, the really
Yeah.
unhealthy stuff. Who doesn't,
Well,
right?
it's not unhealthy if you make it yourself.
That's right. I mean, so what if you're frying it? At least you can fry it in a moderate amount of oil, I suppose, and you could choose
Yeah,
what oil that you fry it in.
exactly.
And
You could fry it in tallow or in lard or
yeah,
maybe ghee. I
yeah,
don't know, it would be a waste of ghee, but maybe not.
yeah, your healthier fats, maybe. Looks like we have a guest from your channel, back to good off grid. Welcome.
Yeah,
So glad you're here today.
yeah.
So you got started right away, and I wanted to ask you, so what kind of milk cow do you have, or do you have more than one?
Sorry, can you say that 1 second? You one more time you froze up on me.
Sure. What kind of milk cow do you have, or do you have more than one?
Yeah, I have a collection.
They're kind of like potato chips, aren't they?
Yeah, they
I mean,
really are. So, my current cow and milk, she's actually new to me. I've only had her for about 3 months. Her name's Annabelle. We've got like a love-hate relationship. She's a very bossy cow. Anyways, she is half Guernsey, quarter brown Swiss, and quarter Holstein.
nice.
So she's new to me. I had like the best milk cow ever though. She was a purebred Jersey. Her name was Suki, and like I love Suki so much. So it's like if you have a really good dog. And so I actually lost her
Yeah.
in February, so then I had to
Aw,
get a new milk cow. So I have Annabelle in milk right now, and we've got a couple others that are just like nanny cows for the ranch and stuff. And
yeah.
I got a heifer that we're gonna breed her soon, and she'll calve next spring. She's 3/4 brown Swiss and a quarter Jersey. So I'm excited to have a little bit of the Jersey back in the mix. But
Yes, yes. I love my Jersey for that high butter fat. I hear Guernseys are really good for that
oh
too, and
yeah,
they
she
have
has
more of
nice.
a yellow. My dream was to get a Guernsey Jersey mix, and so maybe someday I'll do that. I have a good friend who wants a Guernsey, and I said I want the Jersey, and so we're hoping someday maybe we'll make it happen. She got a Jersey off of me with a heifer calf to get herself started,
Yeah.
but the goal is to split that so that she can kind of have that combo too.
Nice. I
Um,
think that's so cool. Like it's neat to see how it progresses. Like when we first started, we had just like Holsteins because we were getting them as like call cows off of dairies, and then like
uh-huh.
we've just like implemented breeding things, like seen things that we like on our homestead, and like been able to breed them a little bit. And that's cool to be able to make your own specific homestead cow.
I know it kind
So
of
nice.
reminds me when I first got into chickens. I want to say a quick hello to Not For Nothing Homestead here. But when I first got started with chickens, my kids were very involved in that. That was the first homestead animal that we had. It's kind of the gateway animal. I think a lot of people
Yeah.
start with chickens and then work their way up. But we had like different breeds, but I wanted an olive egger. So you take like an Easter egger with a brown, so like a black copper Moran or whatever, and you put them together and then you get that olive covered egg. And it's so neat when you can start crossbreeding and making your own. And it's like it takes you a couple years, but you first get that olive egg. It was so cool because that, you know, you finally got to do that. And so now I can definitely see doing that with cows just the same, because right now I've got a pure A2 Jersey that was bred to an Angus. And so I'm like, if it comes out a heifer, I might be tempted to keep her, because the plan was so that I would have meat, you know. But it was a bull calf. But oh my, I don't know. My mind is
we love
spinning.
because we have quite a few Angus cross dairy cows, and they are amazing. Like we keep them as nanny cows for the ranch, but like they have like a lot of milk. They keep their condition super well. Like none of our cross ones are grain fed at all or anything. Like they're just really good. They get up so quick. Like I don't know if when you had your Jersey calf, if it took a while to.
Oh, we froze.
Right back up.
We froze for a second. You asked when I had my Jersey calf, and then I lost you.
Oh no, sorry. I just said that I don't know if when you had your Jersey calf, if it took a while to get up, but like the Angus cross ones, they just like bounce right up. Like there's like they're crazy hardy. It's cool.
I have had luck with my heifers immediately getting up. My bull calf was the one that was slower to get up, and he was slower to learn to suck, and it was different for sure. Although my jerseys that I had previously, before, you know, this other one's the full grown Jersey, I have a mid-size and a mini, and so you know they're probably crossed to become minis. So I'm sure there's something in there maybe to give them that strength. I've been lucky, knock on wood. Now I'll probably have string of bad luck here, but mine have always done really well as far as heifers go, and I usually do sexed AI, and so I usually get my heifers.
Nice. I'm seriously considering that, because I never got a heifer out of Suki. She had 2 bull calves for me, and now I'm like, I don't have anything of Suki left. So if you have a good milk cow, try and get a heifer out.
I was really lucky. When I brought home my first dairy cow, she's the mid-size, and she had been bred to a mini bull, and she came out a heifer that was polled. And so I definitely kept her. They're my 2 in milk now. And then since then, I have gotten 1 polled calf out of that calf's. Okay, I'm going to confuse everyone. That calf's calf. So my original cow has always given me horned calves, but that polled one is about 50-50. So that's fun to watch those genetics come through too.
Oh, amazing.
So, yeah. I don't know if I said hello to you, Renee. Thanks for being here. So good to see everybody talking in the chat.
Oh, I can see the chat now. I didn't see the chat before. Oh, cool.
Yes. Oh, they're talking about some desserts that they've all been making. Yes.
Yes. I've been making cheesecake. I finally made a good cream cheese for cheesecake. I'm not a very good baker, so I struggled with like a baked cheesecake, and I finally got my quark to like the right consistency. So quark is like a cream cheese, and I got the right consistency for baked cream cheese or cheesecake, and I was like, yes, finally.
I will try quark for that then. That is good to know. I researched making it before I got my cow, but then I never did make it. And I had an oopsie one time where I accidentally made a yogurt cream cheese. I was trying to make dream cheese, and I ended up with something a little different. And so I was like, okay. And I never could repeat it, because the store stuff does set up different in like cheesecakes and stuff. So I will try quark.
Yeah, it does. Like I struggled with it for so long, because like I said, I'm not a baker. I'm not very good at it. So I was either making my cream cheese like too high in fat, so it like melts into a puddle. Or like if you add in any lemon juice into your cake, like it will sometimes like separate the curds in the cake. So don't do that. Don't add any lemon juice.
And see, in my cheesecake recipe, we add fresh lemon juice. So
don't do that. Omit it.
Good tips. Let's see. We have a comment here. I've made mozzarella with just vinegar and milk, so I'll have to try overworking it for string cheese. Awesome.
Yeah.
I've never made mozzarella with just vinegar. I don't think. I
Yeah.
think I probably used citric acid, I think is what I probably used.
I've
Trying to remember.
accidentally made it before, like when I've been making like a sweet ricotta or something. Like you said, when you accidentally make something, sometimes you just can't
Yes.
recreate it. And I'm like, I don't know how I did that, but it
Yes.
worked.
And speaking of ricotta and accidents, you can put too much citric acid in and it'll do different things. From my
Yeah.
understanding. So like you want it to float on the very top, but sometimes it'll sink to the bottom and that's something different. But I tried to show it when I did the goat's milk Velveeta when it didn't turn out because I had kind of overworked it and stuff. Hey, it's still cheese and it's still
Yeah.
tasty. Your mistakes can still be eaten. So
Exactly.
I
Like
hope
that's
that
a big hang up, I think, for people. They like
yeah,
forget that cheese has been made for thousands of years, and like there's so many different types of cheese. Just because it doesn't go exactly as the recipe doesn't mean it's ruined. It's just as long as it's not
right.
contaminated, you're good to go.
Yes. And you'll know it's contaminated if you try to do like an aged cheese because it'll get the holes in it and it'll puff up.
Yeah, I will
Um,
do a blow up thing.
yep. Yep. I had that happen one time in all my
Yeah,
years, which my years aren't that many, but yeah. I was like,
that's it.
oh,
It just
that
wins.
one's going to the chickens
Yeah,
because they can digest it.
it
So
happens. Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Hello, Urban Harvest and Elaine. Thanks for being here tonight. And if you guys haven't done it already, please give this a thumbs up and share it out so that we can get more fantastic friends here in the chat with us tonight because we haven't even gotten into the Milkmaid Society to hear what that's all about. And I want to make sure nobody misses that because that's actually one of the gifts that we're giving away on the prizes on July 5th when we do the drawing for the June is Dairy Month collaboration. So let's try to get a few more people in here so that she can tell us all about what that is.
Sorry, I froze up again.
I was basically just asking everyone to give this a quick share out and a thumbs up so that we can get a few more people in the room before you go into explaining what the Milkmaid Society is.
Sure. Sounds good.
Oh, yes. I did. Thank you so much. I received it, I think, yesterday, and I feel terrible. I haven't had a chance to send you a thank you. Actually, I think when I get it, I think I get it from Amazon, so I don't know if I could have emailed you to thank you or not. So you're going to get your personal thank you very much. I won a $25 e-card off of another friend's giveaway and they were the ones that donated it. So thank you very much for that. I'm sure I'm going to spend that quite quickly.
Nice. Are you going to buy cheese supplies?
Maybe, just maybe. I just might. I do get a lot of my cheese making supplies from New England Cheese Making Company, which is another sponsor for this collaboration. And so, yeah.
Nice.
And I
Yeah,
actually was just talking to the gentleman yesterday. So yeah,
cool. Yeah,
they're a very small company.
I love their website. They have good recipes and stuff on there.
Yes, their cheese curds are the best. It's like a no fail. I can always use that. And I have one of the books, but honestly, a lot of the recipes that are in the book are free on their website.
Yeah, and they lay them out really nice. I always like that.
Yes, they're easy to read.
Yeah.
They're not complicated. Some of them when I first started making cheese, I had like, I don't know, 5 books or something to look at. And then I even had the one that was cheese making for dummies. And I'm like, well, this dummy can't understand what you're trying to tell me.
Oh, it's so confusing sometimes.
Yeah, it can be, especially if you're converting things, like I'm US. And so our measurements are not always the same as they are in other places. So it gets real confusing sometimes.
Yeah. Oh.
So, you use natural cultures then, Clabber mostly to do
I'm
all of
moving
your
towards that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so
That's
it's newish for me. Like in the last year, I've been moving towards natural cultures. I had like a couple years ago, I had a run where I was trying natural cultures and it failed bad for me. Like I had so many contaminations, but I was doing it wrong. So there's this fellow, his name's David Asher. He wrote the book The Art of Natural Cheese Making, and he's
Uh-huh.
like the guru for natural cheese making. Like he
Yeah.
knows his stuff. So I got to learn from him last year. I attended like a live class from him, and so I've
Yes.
been like moving towards doing it more since then. So that's
Yeah.
been really cool, and it was like invaluable to learn live from him just because I had been doing it wrong. And yeah, it's really
I've
like
been scared to do it.
yeah, it is. It's intimidating, but once you get it, it's just kind of like it's really, really similar to making sourdough. Like when you first start making sourdough,
Yeah.
it's so intimidating. You look at that recipe and
Yeah.
you're like, "Oh, the heck am I going to do this?" But once you do it over and over and over again, you just kind of you learn how to fit it in, and it's not so confusing.
Kate from Venison from Dinner.
Yeah.
She also, I think, does the natural cultures.
Mhm.
And so I don't know if maybe that's who she learned from also.
We were it was actually at Kate's house, the class. I only live maybe 6 or 7 hours from Kate.
I
So
was thinking
I
that
went down to
maybe.
her house and she had David Asher there, so that was really cool.
Okay, yes. I thought I kind of remember that, but I'm like, my memory's not so good. I don't want to put
Oh,
my
no.
foot in my mouth and you guys like be arch enemies or something. But
No,
I
no,
was
no, not at all.
thinking that you two had worked together on things. And
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool, like, because there's quite a few people that teach cheese making, but Kate's a big one, David's a big one, like me, I guess. So, like, we're all from BC, which is kind of cool. It's kind of
yes,
a local-ish destination.
yes, yes. I also watch Gavin Weber. I don't know if you're very
Yeah,
familiar with him.
yeah,
I'm a curd nerd, so
yeah.
yeah.
His stuff's
Um,
really good too. And I love
he
that he teaches with pasteurized milk because it's hard for like a lot of people to find raw milk. So it's
right.
cool to have a good resource that Cheese 52. I know she's part of this dairy collaboration too.
Yes, she is. She makes recipes easily to understand also.
Yeah.
I like her Amish spreading cheese, I think it is, or something that she made one time. And have you seen the wedding cake that she made for her daughter out of cheese?
I think I did. Yeah, I think I did see that at
That
some
was
point.
like one of the last things that she did. And now through this collaboration, it's actually inspired a couple of different channels to kind of get back into like, why can't I think of his name right now? Texas. Um, his video was last week anyway. He's done collaborations with Gavin before too, and he hadn't done any cheese making videos in quite some time, so it kind of inspired him to bring that back to his channel. So this has kind of been fun to light a fire under some of my favorite cheese making people,
Yeah.
like you gonna be posting a video on YouTube again because me and Instagram. So
I
hey,
know.
Tony from Kettle Kitchen, welcome in. I think I said hello to 9 Acre Family Farm, so I'm assuming this is Dale. I don't know if he's working on a project or what he's doing, but we've got a few more people in here now. So do you want to tell us a little bit about what the Cheesemaking Society is, how you got started in it, and then you can end with what your contribution is to our collaboration.
Sure, sounds good. Yeah, so I when I decided that I was going to start teaching cheese making a couple of years ago, I didn't realize how much I would actually end up teaching about like dairy cows and having questions about.
We're a little bit glitchy tonight, so she'll be back with us in a second. But if you're wondering about where her channel can be found, if you go all the way up to the very, very top,
Oh, I'm back. Sorry.
this is her, I believe this is her YouTube channel right here. So if you want to find it to follow her, just go all the way to the top. And now she's back, so we'll let you get back to it.
Sorry, I don't know where you guys lost me. If
Just start again. I'd say just
okay.
start from the beginning.
Sounds good. Hopefully I don't get lost again. So when I decided that I was going to start teaching cheese making a couple of years ago, I didn't know how much I would end up teaching about like dairy cows and having questions about dairy goats, but I've never had dairy goats, and questions about dairy processing and all that kind of stuff. So when I decided to launch a monthly membership club, I kind of wanted to put all of those things into it. I wanted it to be like a resource for it's called the Milkmaid Society. I wanted it to be a resource for milkmaids to like find each other. So we have like a milkmaid map on there that you can plot yourself on the map.
Nice.
And then also just to like have all of the troubleshooting questions in there. So we cover a new theme every month, but at first we just started out with like a lot of troubleshooting, a lot of like learning cheese making and dairy processing, like why won't my butter churn when my cow's in late lactation, like all those kind of questions that are really hard to find the answer for. I wanted to get into there. So yeah, I started the Milkmaid Society last July, and then that's kind of like coincides when I stopped posting on YouTube because I got too busy with it.
So about a year now then.
Yeah, about a year, and I've hired a lot of milkmaids to help me like create content because I wanted it to be like not just my my experiences, but everybody's experience.
That's nice.
Yeah, so there's probably like 15
does it the
milkmaids
same.
that what's that? Sorry?
Because not everyone does it the same.
Yeah, and there's so many different experiences and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's probably been like 15 milkmaids that have contributed to it so far with like blog posts and videos and not just milkmaids actually either. Like my husband, he helped me make a whole masterclass on like how to make your own hay and how to like source feed for your cows and stuff.
I love it.
Master classes in there on dairy processing and cheese making and how to buy a milk cow, how to buy a dairy coat. So obviously that one I had to like outsource all of the stuff from it. So yeah, just lots and lots of information that's just always growing, which it's been a lot of work, but it's been really fun.
So I'm going to go ahead and pop this up right here. And I'll leave it up for just a little bit. But again, it's if you go all the way to the top, before I even started the live stream, I did put the information for her YouTube channel. And then this is the Milkmaid Society if you want to join. However, you can't join just anytime you want. So you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I had it where you could just join whenever you wanted, but it was hard to like keep track with who was joining and stuff like that. And I really wanted to get to know the members. So I made it so that you can only join once a season. So we're going to open up at the end of June. So June 28th, I'll be open for 12 days. I'm speaking at the Modern Homesteading Conference in Idaho.
Oh, wow.
So I wanted to like coincide it with that.
Yeah.
So at the end of the month, I'm going to be speaking there, and registration will be open for the Milkmaid Society, and then it will close on July 10th, and then it won't be open again until the fall.
That is great. So like every 6 months, you have the opportunity to jump in, right?
Like every season. I don't say it's for sure like that time, but I say like, fall, because I want it to be like people, if they are holding off to buy or to get into the society, like their cow calves and stuff like that. I want it to be open at least once, like fall, winter, spring, summer kind of thing like that.
Okay, so you have opportunities, just you need to watch for that window.
Yeah,
when it is.
exactly.
Okay, I get it now. Okay.
Yeah.
Because for a second there, I thought it was just one time per year, and then that that was your only opportunity. Okay.
Yeah, like once a season, and there's like like it kind of sucks that it has to be only once a season, but it was too much to like help people. I'm
sure it's overwhelming, and then to keep track of because if you pay for a year and then to keep track of their year, that would be hard too.
Yeah, luckily there's all sorts of automations to help with that, and I have a really good assistant. She's really good at organizing that stuff.
Oh, wonderful. That's great that you can have that help, because I am not good with technology. So the thought of that just overwhelms me right there. I just want to
create content and like talk about milk cows and cheese. That's my favorite thing.
That's what I always tell people. You ask me to help you work on your computer, I can't do that, but I can go out and hand milk a cow and give you, make you something with it. So yeah.
Exactly.
So that's the perfect time then, because with our collaboration, you've decided to donate that.
Yeah.
And so tell us about your donation and whatever you want to say about that.
Yeah, so I'll just I can't remember how much if I said I would do a year, let's go a year. I will donate a year subscription.
I think I have it written down that you were going to do a 1-year subscription for the monthly whatever, and it kind of confused me because I was like, what? But now that you've explained it, I understand. Each month you come out with one thing, and so right? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it'll be like a year subscription to the society. And yeah, we do a new theme every month, but like every month, like I have somebody that writes our goat content for the Milkmaid Society. So every month she puts a new blog post out. So that's like separate from the theme. I usually put a cheese post out. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's just, yeah, it's like
So lots
also,
of information in
yeah,
each
like
month
next month
then.
we're doing off grid. So there's somebody that's doing a whole section on how to like have a milk cow when you're off grid, and how to make your cheese
Nice.
and stuff when you're off grid, which is kind of cool.
Looks like we have Mouse Toes, Mimi Dishes, Derek Fowler, and Marie's. Okay, I can't even talk today. Let me just pop you up here and say hello. I keep losing you. No. Mara's, I don't know. I can't talk today. Yarn and Crafts. So I'm sorry. I'm just ruining your name there, but we're so excited to have you here in with us in the group. So um I'm sorry. I can't do it today. Not not able to get it right today. I'm tongue tied. I had a lot going on. I got the cows. I've got 3 who will be in milk this fall. So I'll be very, very busy because right now I'm hand milking. I do have a machine,
Yeah,
but sometimes it's just easier to hand milk than to have to clean all the
yeah,
equipment because I don't have water in my milk barn. And so I have to, lug the 5-gallon buckets and all that stuff. And so
yeah,
it's just 1 or 2, it's not worth it, but I got those girls separated off to the side because we're getting ready to dry the 2 off, and, that's as far as I got.
yeah.
It got too hot today, my brain can't think, and so I had too many projects going on, but
Yeah.
so, do you get involved in that part of the farm, or does your husband kinda help you with that part?
We share the task, like, of milking and stuff. Yeah, so we share the task of milking. Like, he likes milk cows. Like, he doesn't admit it, but he likes it. So, yeah, we have our milk cow on a 16-hour milking schedule right now, which is really weird. But the dairy that we got her from, it was a grain-free dairy, and he finds like to keep their condition, he couldn't do 12 hours milking them, but
Mhm,
so he was doing 16 hours, and we decided just to try it. We'd never done it
mhm,
before, and yeah, it's working out good. But I would never do it if I didn't have Zach to help me. So sorry,
mhm.
the mosquito running around
It's
my head.
hard it's hard when you do that because that's what I do when I go to dry them off. Like,
Yeah,
right now I'm on once a day milking. I have been for quite a while. I actually transitioned my goat to a once a day milking right away after she lost her kid, and I
yeah,
thought, "Oh, I don't know." I only, like, for a week did twice a day milking because I just couldn't fit it into my schedule, and I love once a day milking if you can get away with it,
yeah,
but then you go to, like 36 hours and then, you switch in that time frame. So I'm sure 16 is a little off when you try to balance, sometimes it's early in the morning, sometimes it's late at night, sometimes it's at noon.
yeah. It's really strange. It was really hard math to get my brain
Yes.
around. We do like so like today's milking, I milked at 1 p.m. and then like tomorrow I'll milk at 5 a.m. and then Zach will milk at 9 p.m. tomorrow, and then we'll go back to the 1 p.m. one, which is
Yeah.
weird. It wouldn't work for everybody. And it wouldn't work if I had to be out there milking at 9, but also milking at 5. I would hate that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I definitely, I think that's why I went ahead and took on that 3rd cow because I'm like, if I can get it to once a day milking, I could probably do it. The twice a day just, it's very taxing.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes out
It
a lot.
doesn't matter what time of year either, because like around here in the summer, if you do it really early or really late, it's not so bad. But if you are midday, the flies, they bite so bad, even with fans and stuff. And I've got one girl, I brought a new fan in. She
Yeah.
won't let down for me anymore. She's only giving me a very little anyway. So I'm almost like, okay, you may just be done now. But
Yeah.
and then in the winter, it's just so freezing cold. And so,
Yeah.
it takes so much time just to put everything on, take everything back off.
Yes, and then you bring your milk in, and then you have to do something with it, and then
Yeah,
by the time you're done doing it with it, it's almost time to go and milk again.
it's almost like feeding a family. I mean, those
Yeah.
dinners and lunches, and they just never stop.
No, it doesn't. The dishes never stop.
No, and the laundry.
Yes, exactly. It's never ending, but
No,
lovely, but lovely.
it is. It's all worth it.
Yes,
Hey,
exactly.
Butler Family Farm, I don't think I welcomed you in. Oh my. So how I think you told us, but go ahead and say it again if you did. How long have you been in dairy cows?
2014 was when we first got the first one. Yeah, so
Okay, so almost a
yeah,
decade then.
almost a decade. Yeah, not quite.
Yeah.
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 No, it's been good. I love like Suki, my Jersey cow was my first like designated family milk cow. So uh,
Mhm.
like yeah, before that was always stealing off nanny cows and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a little bit
Okay.
different from a designated family milk cow. Actually, no, I guess we had one before that. Okay, never mind, I lied. Maybe a year before. But
Yeah. It's hard to remember.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's great. I'm glad that you have him to help you. So, do you have kids at home then? And
Yeah,
are they old enough to be involved?
we've got three. So our oldest is 9, and so they go to school during the day. I don't homeschool, and then our youngest is 3, so he stays home with us. So he's involved more than the other ones because he's just always tagging around with us.
Yeah.
So he's probably involved more than the other ones, but in the summer months it will change once they're not in school so much. Echo is our oldest. She likes to make cheese and stuff like that. So
Oh,
when
wow.
she'll make a little bit of cheese and stuff, but
That's great.
yeah. Yeah, I think our new milk cow is gonna be better for them to milk too. Suki was not a kid's milker. She was not a good
Mm,
cow for kids to milk, but, this new one, she stands there, so that's good.
that's awesome. I guess I didn't bring this up. I try to be so prepared. So, this
No.
talks a little bit about what your Milkmaid Society is. It says Milkmaid Society is a monthly subscription club for milkmaids. Whether you are milking a cow, a goat, or trying to decide which one is right for you, the Milkmaid Society is the community that you need. What will you find inside? The Milkmaid Society is a growing resource and community surrounding milk cows, milk goats, dairy processing, and cheese making. So, even if you're just curious about it, I think this would be something that you could definitely benefit from and be encouraged by.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I'm glad you did that because I'd heard so much about it and I was like, Milkmaid Society, it just sounds so
I know.
elite, you know?
I'm
I'm
not
a
gonna say I
milkmaid.
decided to make it up because of the name, but I might have.
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm gonna make something called the Milkmaid Society. That's an excellent name."
I love it. I'm like, I need to be in the Milkmaid Society. I'm a milkmaid. So I think that sounds fun. It's probably something I'm going to have to check out for sure.
Yeah, it's fun to be able to like have a community too of milkmaids. Like lots of people do know milkmaids and stuff like that, but um, there's not a ton of real life connections to milkmaids that I have in my area. There's a couple now, but not many.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Yeah.
neat to be able to have those friendships. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. That's what I love about YouTube is I've met a whole new group of people and some people I've become pretty close with, good friends with. And I would have never had that connection without having reached out and like done collaborations and things with some of these people. Mouse says being titled a milkmaid is an honor in Russia. Villages cherish them. So maybe
Oh,
we belong in Russia.
yeah, maybe we do. That's awesome. Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that. Thanks for that information.
That's neat to hear it like that because sometimes, like, when I say, "Oh, yeah, I run the Milkmaid Society," people are like, "Oh," like, they kind of think of it as, like, a derogatory term a little bit.
Oh,
So it's neat
really?
to hear it yeah, like, you're like, "You call
Yeah.
yourself a milkmaid?" Like
Well, yeah.
yeah, so it's cool to hear it of it as an honor because I
Yeah.
feel like I'm proud to be a milkmaid.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I love being able to say that, you know, this came from my farm and my hands. And yeah, I agree. Oops, I almost pushed the wrong button. I almost pushed end broadcast, and I'm wanting to get back to the comments to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, Beverly Moffat, I don't think I said hello to you. Thank you for being here tonight.
I'm back now, sorry. Froze up again.
No problem. No problem. I was just saying hello to anyone I had maybe missed in the chat. Um, so did we talk about how you got the name Cheese from Scratch? Like,
I don't think
did you
we did.
start out on YouTube or did you start out on Instagram? Did you have a blog? How did you get going?
I started out on, well, actually, I started out just like creating a blog and I was gonna do it like that. I had been on like this long social media break when I started. I was like a cheesemaker with my flip phone, and I was didn't know
Oh my
anything.
gosh, that's hilarious.
And then so I started like a blog, and then I quickly realized, oh, nobody's going to be able to find me if I have no social media. So then I got Instagram, and then I mostly just started like using Instagram to kind of talk about cheese and stuff like that, and then it's kind of spiraled from there. But I don't know really how I decided on the name. I think just cheese from scratch sounded like a good description of what I wanted to do.
Well, I love it. I absolutely love the name.
Yeah, it
Um,
tells you what I do.
exactly. My name gets a little confusing to people. I was trying to think of a name that would explain me back when I started as a blogger too, which
Yeah,
I've dropped it, but I kind of think maybe I need to bring it back. I kind of feel like I should.
yeah.
But I was like, I'm a farm wife, but I like to do lots of things. How can I explain that? So I'm like inquisitive because I am. I'm an inquisitive person, but it's a tough one. It doesn't roll off the tongue as
I
nicely as
love it.
cheese from
No,
scratch.
I love it.
But
Yeah.
yeah. No, I don't know. I just squirreled away what I was going to ask you. Yeah. You said you have a website, so you have a blog on there. Oh, I know
Yeah.
what I was going to ask. Do you do a lot of like TikTok or shorts and things like that? Or what
Lots of like reels on Instagram.
reels?
Like,
Okay.
that's probably what I spend most of my time. Like other
Yeah.
than creating content for the Milkmaid Society, like that I spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to make reels.
And see, I know nothing about making a reel. Do you have fun with it?
Yeah, I do. I like had a weird phase where I did some dancing reels and stuff last year, but I don't dance on them anymore. So
Well, we gotta try different things,
they're
right?
mostly just very educational. They're cheese educational or dairy processing or milk cows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I find it's good because I like doing video content, and I should get back to YouTube because I do like doing YouTube content, but it's nice when it's short. It's like
Yeah.
little things.
You
Like
don't feel so intimidated maybe with the editing because it doesn't maybe take as long as editing
yeah.
a full video.
And lots of times like cuz the kids will be I don't mind the kids being in the videos and stuff, but I don't like I've been moving away from their faces being in the videos. So
Sure.
like, I can easier cut out little bits and stuff when I am doing reels versus if I'm doing a YouTube video. Like when I was making the YouTube video for
Oh, we lost her
like you can
again.
hear them in the background and stuff, but
Yeah. Yeah, I totally respect that because I just became a grandma this spring, and my daughter would prefer that we don't put a lot of information about. I mean, I can just say it was a little girl, and then that that was it. They're just trying to kind of keep that private for now, and I totally respect that and understand it.
yeah.
My son doesn't really want to be involved very much on it, and so I mean, I think that's great. You never know, what's out
Yeah.
there, and
They definitely
so
are in some of our stuff, but, yeah, so I've just been kind of moving away from it
yeah,
a little bit, especially on Instagram just because my Instagram account's too so big, but, and I just don't
yeah,
know who can see it.
yeah. It's scary, and they're getting
Mhm.
older, and they're gonna want, they may want that privacy for
Yeah.
themselves too. So yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Um, can you think of anything else fun that you would like to share with us?
Um, Not right off the bat today. I'm going to be posting that video on Friday of
So
keeping a
excited.
clabber culture. So I keep like a instead of keeping a sourdough starter on my counter, I keep a clabber culture, which is like raw milk, and I feed it every day. And there's discard just like with sourdough starter, and then I use that culture to inoculate my milk for cheese making. And then I also like I barely make yogurt anymore. I use it for most of my fresh dairy products, like culturing my sour cream and all sorts of stuff like that. So that's what
I'm
I'm going to be sharing on Friday.
This is very exciting because I've never like kept a culture alive or like that with like kombucha and things like that I've done.
Yeah,
But clabber, I've always just left it sit out, it clabbered, and then we eat it or make something out of it, like yogurt or whatever. I've never like kept one going. So this is a new concept to me.
Yeah,
This is
it's really
exciting.
it's what you have to do if you're gonna use it for cheese making, because if you just, like, start a new clabber culture, every time, the lactic bacterias in it aren't strong enough, and they're not the ones that you want to be able to make your cheese. So, yeah, if you want to be
Okay.
able to use it for cheese making, you have to keep it healthy and keep it strong by feeding it all the time. And then you
Very
can put it in the
interesting.
fridge too if you want to. Like, if you get sick of keeping it going like sourdough starter, you put it in the fridge for a week and then you take it out and you feed it. So you can do it that way.
Mind
Yeah, but then you
blown.
have to feed it a couple of times to get it back to, like, it's good
Yeah,
stuff.
just like sourdough.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is
exactly.
that this is so it's just another form of fermentation then basically
Right.
because you could do the same thing with all the stuff that you would ferment. Like I'm thinking about how my kombucha, I have like all these scobies in my little hotel in my fridge, and I've got two different, sourdough starters that I have that have the hooch on them, and they're just waiting, but they can be brought back to life. It's
Yeah,
not an end. So clabber is kind of like a kefir, maybe,
yeah, it's
where
really
you
similar
can put
to
it to
kefir.
bed and bring it back.
Yeah, and it's really cool because I've made cheese with kefir before too, but it's not. I don't really love the taste of kefir, so it's not like
Yeah, probably, yeah. Sorry, I
it's
said
kind
it
of
wrong.
risky. Like I don't love how good it tastes. So clabber, you can get it to taste really good. Like I'll just drink a jar of clabber like by itself.
I
Like,
bet my
it
mom
tastes
would
really
love that then, because she
good.
did the how do you say it, kefir? I
Yeah,
would so she was doing that. Oh, she and my aunt did that for a good year or more. I
yeah,
was one of there's like, what is there, like 1% or 3% chance of people who can get really, really sick off of it. And I was not using raw milk at the time. This was well before I even thought I'd ever have a dairy animal.
yeah.
So I was just using store-bought milk, and I was one of those ones, like, I got sick, like, sick,
Oh,
sick,
no.
like 20 pounds in 2 days sick. It was bad.
Yeah,
So I was scared of it, but clabber
yeah.
does not scare me at all because it's, like, raw and natural, and I can handle
Mhm.
all that stuff. But, mom and my aunt just loved it, so I should
Yeah.
turn them on to this. I'll make sure they watch your
Oh,
video
yeah.
on
I
Friday.
think that, like, anyone that even if you're not gonna be making cheese, I think anyone should keep, that has a milk cow should keep or even dairy goat, should keep a, clabber culture just because it is so versatile, like, there's so many things you can do with it in the kitchen, like, there's, like, grandmas used to keep sour milk on their counter, and if you look at all the old vintage cookbooks, so they're
Yeah.
using sour milk in their cooking and stuff, what they were probably doing was they weren't realizing that they were keeping it as a culture, but they were always adding their milk back into the same vessel or like the same jar, and it was naturally just keeping that clabber culture going. So that's
Yeah,
kind of
my
cool.
mom said that my great grandma always had a pan on the back of her stove,
Yeah,
and there was just always some there, and they would eat it after school as a treat, and
yeah,
she just had it every day, so I bet she added to it like that and just left it
yeah,
there. That
yeah,
is
and
so cool.
yeah, that is so cool. That's neat that your grandma did too.
Yeah, yeah. I was I never tried it or anything, but my mom can remember it was my great grandma, so it would have been her grandma having that for her after school. That was just their snack they would have.
Yeah,
I guess she said it was not cottage cheese, but I'm like, well, I bet it was just clabber.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you could make butter from clabber, is that right?
You could if you like it would be like cultured butter.
Uh-huh.
Um, so you could like because you get your separation right from your milk and your so you the top stuff is
Mhm.
basically sour cream. So if you wanted, you could whip that into cultured butter. Usually I don't love the taste of cultured butter. I just made some this morning actually, and I ended up turning it
Just
into ghee because I just don't like the taste of cultured butter that much. But
very interesting because I've always thought about doing culture butter with a culture, but I'm like, just because I heard it would last longer on like the counter or whatever, because I use butter bells,
yeah,
and I just heard it would last longer because you know after a few days or whatever,
yeah,
usually it gets eaten
yeah.
up, but it can go bad in time, whether
Yeah.
it's store bought, homemade, or whatever. So
Yeah,
I
I think it
heard that
does help with
culture.
that. I don't know. I can't get behind cultured butter. Like I do
Yeah.
leave it. I guess mine is a little bit cultured. Like I always turn the cream when it's warm, so it's like it's sat out for I don't know 12 hours or something. So I guess it is a little bit cultured, but I don't like specifically inoculate it with my clabber culture.
Well, and people like the cultured buttermilk, I think, for recipes. And see, I
Yeah.
don't have that. Mine's a sweet buttermilk. When I make like buttermilk bread or biscuits or something, it's always a sweet buttermilk off of my sweet cream butter.
Yeah.
But to get that tangy, they always said culture it. So,
Yeah, like what you can do too, sometimes I'll do this is I'll make my butter, but then I'll culture my buttermilk with my clabber culture, and then you'll get your thick buttermilk, like if you do that. So I do it after I make my butter.
okay, fantastic. See, that's good
Yeah,
to know because I'm like you. I kind of like my butter the way it
yeah,
is.
I like it to be
I don't
sweet
really
butter.
want a tangy butter. So Nanny Tam says, yes, please remember my granny keeping a jug of clabbered milk on the counter. She made biscuits, cornbread, pancakes, and just clabber on her cornbread. She loved it.
Yeah.
That reminds me of why can't I think of what it's called? The English do it at tea time.
Um,
And they'll put it on their biscuits.
cultured cream. What is that?
Yes.
Clotted cream.
That's it, clotted, not cultured,
Mm.
clotted. I tried making that one time. You put it in the oven for a really long time or something. Have you ever made clotted cream?
No, I haven't. I actually, because I was making ricotta out of the whey today, and I was like, this kind of like the stuff on the, because you have your whey, the cream scum on top of the whey, and I was like, oh, if
Uh-huh.
I just like simmered this a little bit, I would get clotted cream, but then I didn't. I just made it with.
Yeah, I made it one time and it was very tasty, but it didn't set up the way it did for the other YouTube people I watched. And so I'm like, I still have a lot to learn on this, but I kind of forgot about that because my sister will buy it and have it shipped in. She loves it and lemon curd
Mhm.
and then she loves to have tea. Like
That
to go
sounds
to a
so
tea house, we go at least once a year to a tea house. It's just a thing we do.
yeah,
And so, yeah.
that's amazing. Yeah, it always looks so good when people have it. Like I make sour
Yeah.
cream, but it's different. But
Yeah, I've made homemade sour cream, but I made it from the store-bought, cultured butter
yeah,
cream or no, buttermilk, and now I really wanna try this with the clabber, so I'm
yeah, it's like
excited about
it's
doing this.
amazing because I made sour cream for a long time with like a freeze-dried starter culture from the
Mhm.
cheese pie website. And it was good. Like it set up fine and stuff, but it never had that like nice tang. And Clabber sour cream gives you the nice tang. Like it tastes. I always kind of compare things to like how I buy them at the store, and I kind of want it to be close to how it is at the store because that's like I don't know people like I don't know I like
Me
the stuff
too,
from
and I think
the
that's I think that's where some of, my headspace needs to change a little bit on things because what you make homemade is not gonna be what it is in the store exactly.
yeah,
And I need to remember that because just like when you make a loaf of bread at home, it is not the same as what you buy in the store. And I need to remember that it's going to be that same with making cheese because, like, my cottage cheese is not quite the same. My cream cheese, I could not get it. You get that Philadelphia cream cheese in a block and it is firm and it's set up perfect. Well, mine was more of the kind that's whipped, it was more of a
yeah,
whipped cream cheese. And I just need to, put my mindset that, you're going for flavor and not necessarily everything else because some of the stuff they stick in there makes it do those things.
yeah. They have
So,
like some sort of gum in that.
yeah.
It's like so I can't remember what it's called, but it's in the cream cheese blocks. But if
Uh-huh.
you strain your quark longer, like
Uh-huh.
that's what my hang up was with, like we were talking about the cheesecake before. If you strain it like quite a bit longer, then you can
Uh-huh.
get that consistency, but it does take a while.
Yeah. I'm gonna definitely try that because the dream cheese I make
Yeah,
um definitely is a lot like a cream cheese. It just gets kind of tangy because you start out by making yogurt first and
yeah,
basically you strain it to where it's like even thicker than like Greek yogurt. You just kind
yeah,
of keep straining it. And so it sounds like the same concept. So
yeah. They
quark,
say
is
that's
it made with skim or does it matter?
usually I make it with whole milk just because I
Whole milk?
so much
Okay.
of it.
I didn't know if it had to be all cream or if it
Yeah.
was yeah.
Like, it will be creamier if you do more cream. Like, I have a cream cheese recipe that's, like, solid cream. It's like you take, like, a
Mhm.
jug of heavy cream and you make that
Yeah.
into cream cheese, and that's, like, a good, like, eating cheese. It's very
Uh-huh.
decadent.
I
So, like,
bet.
all of those fresh cheeses, like the yogurt dream cheese, like you're saying, the quark, the cream cheese that has the whole cream, they're all basically the same principles, so you can use whatever ratio you want, basically.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. We have a few more people that have stepped in A quick hello to Missouri Outlaw Randy, Blessed. And I think I got everyone a quick hello to you. So thank you for being here this evening. We only have about 5 minutes. I don't know how that hour always goes by so quickly. I love when I get to have a new guest on and learn so much. Thank you so much for everything that you have shared with us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yes, we'll continue talking, but I want to go ahead and get a few quick things out of the way. I would like to invite you all to, after you leave here, there is another channel that I will go moderate on, and it is Big Valley Living. And when we show a love raid and go over there, it's kind of fun when people have come from here and go over there to tell them something fun. And so tell Michelle I love cheese, and then that way she knows that you came over from listening to Cheese from Scratch. So that's always just something fun. And if you need to find her channel, it is at the very, very top again. Oops. Well, I thought it was. I guess I did not pin it. But anyway, it's Big Valley Living is where you'll go. I did also pin at the top because so many people are asking me how to find which cheese or which my mind's on cheese, which ice cream maker that is going to be given away. And so I pinned it at the top. You guys can check that out too, because I had so many people ask me about that one. And again, I will have the Milkmaid Society link up there, her YouTube link up there. That's what I did. I did it twice. I'm not sure what that is. This, I believe, is Michelle's live. So this link here is Michelle's live. So you guys can head on over there when we're done here.
Cool.
And then next week on my What's Up Wednesday, we are going to have venison for dinner as my guest. So I hope you guys will all come back and we can talk to her and learn all about her channel and all the things that she has going on.
You guys can make quark like we talked about in this video today, and then when you have over on venison for dinners, she has a quark ice cream recipe, which is very
what
cool.
Yeah, her video came out today, and she said she has a whole list of ice creams that you can make. She showed us a yogurt one, but she has another one that I love too. I love that machine. I have that ice cream machine. I don't know if you have it or not.
Is it like the one with the motor?
Yeah, it has the compressor in it, so you don't have to freeze the bowl and everything.
It's on the list one day. I've got two. I've been lucky to, like, we have a dump store in town. It's like you can just go and it's really cheap to, people drop things off when they don't need them. So I've been lucky to get 2 Cuisinart.
Oh, nice. I have a Cuisinart also, and I actually had 2 of them. And I just kept the barrel off of one of them so that I could have one in the freezer going back and forth, you know?
That's the thing.
Yes. And then I finally broke down and got this other one last summer.
Yeah.
And I love it, but I haven't had the heart to get rid of my Cuisinart yet either. I keep thinking I'll share it with someone.
Yeah, you got a grandbaby now. You're going to be making lots of ice cream.
That's right. That's right. So... Well, it's, a lot of times when I take it somewhere like 4th of July or something, I'll go to my parents and it's like, well, we got to have chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry.
Yeah.
And so if I can make them all at once to save myself time.
Exactly. Every outlet.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you again. I think our time is up here. Let's see if there are any. Actually, real quick, we've got a few people still left here. If we have any questions for our guest, would you mind answering if they have a quick question?
Yeah, for sure.
I'll give them a second. We'll have a little lag here. Oh, yes, it was the cherry frozen yogurt that she made, and I heard her saying not the tart ones, get the sweet ones. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm out picking my cherry tree about every day right now, and they're tart cherries, pie cherries. And I was like, I wonder if somehow I could maybe make a jam or a sauce and use these tart cherries in there, even though she said, don't do the tart ones.
I think you could do it. I like the tart ones.
Yeah, I think I thought about maybe even putting some chocolate with it to sweeten it up, like a chocolate ice cream with the tart cherries,
that would be good.
maybe. Yeah.
That would be excellent. I'm reading the thing. Gonna try sour cream. Would love the recipe. Yeah. So I
There it
think
is.
on my Instagram, I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I definitely have it on my Instagram. So if you send me a message on there, the recipe is on there. I'll send you the recipe on there. But else it's like really easy. If you start keeping a clabber culture, like I'm going to show in the video on Friday, then you just automatically are basically making sour cream. You can just take heavy cream and you can feed it some of your clabber culture, and it will be the exact same method for making clabber culture, but you're making it with cream.
I'm so excited about this because that was one of the things why I wanted to get a dairy cow, because I wanted the sour cream and I wanted to make it myself, because we go through an embarrassing amount of sour cream in this house. We like use it as a dip. I mean, we just love sour cream. We have enchiladas. We have to put sour cream on them, we just love it. And so I was like, I want to make my own, and I want, the Jersey gives you the cream, so I have it to work with. So,
and the cool thing about doing it with clabber, because before like I said, I did it with a mesophilic culture, but the cool thing about doing it with clabber is because you have your clabber on like a schedule and you know when it needs to be fed and stuff, you're not over fermenting it, because a lot of times with sour cream, people will over ferment it and it will have like little bubbles in there and then it doesn't taste as good. So if you have it on like the same schedule as your clabber, then it's makes it easier to not miss that window.
So do you, this is important, probably question to be asking. Do you have a sourdough or other ferments like, kimchi or anything going on?
Not anymore. I used to keep a sourdough starter. And I was thinking for a while that it was contaminating my cheeses. I'm not sure. There's some new, I don't know if any of you guys follow on Facebook. There's the Learn to Make Cheese Facebook group, which is a really great resource. But so they were saying on there that there's somebody was saying on there that you can't actually have cross contamination between bread and cheese. And it was kind of new information, because I always thought that you
cannot.
That you can't. Yeah, I always thought you would have cross contamination between the two, and I'm still not 100% certain. And so it's something to look into. I really want to get a microscope, because I think that would be so cool to be able to count the yeast and stuff and see if there is. But I'm like, I think that there might be a risk for it, but I think the big risk for cross contamination, or not for cross contamination, but for yeast contamination, is over fermenting your cheese or your sour cream. Like I said, getting those yeast bubbles, because that raw milk naturally has yeast present in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that kind of makes sense. I always tried to be careful, and like upstairs I would do the kombucha, downstairs I would do like my cheese making, and then I got to where I was making apple cider vinegar and doing all these things. And I had one time where I had the bloom, and I was like, maybe it was from all the bread baking I was doing. And so
and it could have been like, I still am not 100% sold that it doesn't cross contaminate, but I do think that more often than not, contamination, like yeast contamination, is happening from us just over fermenting our cheese. But that's kind of newish information that I'm thinking. But you're always learning with cheese making. That's a cool thing.
Oh, I think we learn with everything for sure.
Yeah.
So Back to Good Off Grid says, I have so many questions, but I just need to watch many videos. Well, we definitely have some great videos going for the month of June with Darius Month collaboration. And I hope that you find some channels that you can watch and glean some information from, and get involved with their YouTube channels and then their other social media outlets, just like Cheese for Scratch here does the Instagram. So if you're an Instagrammer, I'm sure you could get lots of information there from her on that.
Yeah, I'm excited to like go and watch all the videos for the dairy collaboration, because I don't know a lot of people over on YouTube. So it's cool to find some dairy accounts. It's like you guys
Yeah.
laid it all out for us.
I'm so very excited. Yeah, I definitely had a plan in my mind when I sent out the invitations, and I talked to Leanne, and I'm like, "What do you think? Do you have any channels that are new and interesting to you?" Because some of you guys, like, I've never, I mean, I've followed you and seen your stuff before, but like, I've never had a conversation with you until today, and
Yeah.
so it's been fun to get to know different people in this genre that I enjoy so much. So,
Yeah, very cool.
well, we have reached our hour and I don't want to take any more of your time. And I want to thank all my guests for being here so much.
Yeah,
And we will see you next week with another guest. Bye for now,
cool.
friends.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Angela.